The year was 2022. A nation watched, captivated, and bewildered as Attorney General Merrick Garland made an unprecedented move. He appointed Jack Smith, a seasoned prosecutor, as special counsel. His mission? To investigate former President Donald Trump. This was no ordinary probe. It was a deep dive into the heart of American democracy, seeking to unearth potential criminal interference in the 2020 election. The accusations were grave, ranging from mishandling classified documents to obstructing justice. Trump, never one to back down, denounced the investigation as a politically motivated witch hunt. The political atmosphere was already combustible, and Smith's appointment threw gasoline on the fire. Trump's supporters rallied behind their leader, viewing the investigation as an attempt to silence their champion. They pointed to Smith's past, scrutinizing his record for any hint of bias. The media frenzy was relentless, with every move, every word, dissected and debated ad nauseum. The stage was set for a legal and political drama of epic proportions. Smith, unfazed by the swirling controversy, assembled a team of seasoned prosecutors. They began their meticulous work, determined to follow the evidence wherever it might lead. Subpoenas were issued, witnesses were called, and mountains of documents were scrutinized. The investigation cast a long shadow, its presence looming large over the American political landscape. As months turned into years, the nation held its breath, bracing for the bombshells that Smith's investigation might unleash. The stakes were incredibly high, with the very foundation of American democracy hanging in the balance. The classified documents case, a legal hurricane in its own right, whipped into a frenzy. Smith's team alleged that Trump had mishandled sensitive government documents. The accusations were serious, potentially jeopardizing national security. Trump, however, remained defiant, claiming he had declassified the documents. The legal battle raged, a back and forth of motions, hearings, and rulings. Judge Aileen Cannon, a key figure in this high-stakes drama, emerged as a lightning rod for controversy. Her decisions, often favorable to Trump, drew the ire of legal scholars and fueled accusations of judicial bias. The courtroom became a battleground of legal arguments and political posturing. Meanwhile, the election interference case, the other prong of Smith's two-pronged investigation, sent shockwaves through the political landscape. Smith's team delved into the events surrounding the January 6th Capitol riot. They sought to determine whether Trump had played a role in inciting the violence that day. The nation watched, transfixed, as the investigation unearthed explosive revelations about Trump's actions and conversations in the days leading up to the riot. Trump, however, remained undeterred, dismissing the investigation as a partisan witch hunt. He continued to make incendiary statements, further inflaming his supporters and deepening the political divide. The investigation became a political football, with both sides using it to score points and demonize their opponents. As Smith's investigations ground on, a wave of public outrage swept the nation. Critics accused Smith of wasting taxpayer dollars on politically motivated prosecutions. They pointed to the lack of convictions as evidence that the investigations were baseless. Conservative media outlets amplified these accusations, fueling a sense of anger and distrust towards Smith and the Justice Department. Trump, seizing on the public sentiment, launched blistering attacks against Smith, calling him a disgrace and accusing him of being a criminal himself. He claimed that the investigations were part of a deep state plot to destroy him and his movement. Trump's supporters echoed his claims, organizing protests and rallies denouncing Smith and demanding his removal. The calls for accountability grew louder, with some demanding that Smith be investigated for prosecutorial misconduct. They accused him of manipulating evidence and intimidating witnesses, allegations that Smith vehemently denied. The Justice Department, caught in the crossfire, faced mounting pressure to rein in Smith and end the investigations. The political climate grew increasingly toxic, with both sides digging in their heels and refusing to compromise. The investigations, initially intended to uphold the rule of law, had become deeply polarizing, further dividing an already fractured nation. In a stunning turn of events, just days before Trump's inauguration for a second term, Smith submitted his resignation. The timing spoke volumes. Had he been pressured to step down, or was this a strategic move to avoid being fired by the incoming administration? Speculation ran rampant, but one thing was clear: Smith's legacy was forever intertwined with the tumultuous Trump years. His investigations, though ultimately unsuccessful in securing convictions against Trump, had exposed deep fissures within American society. They had laid bare the fragility of democratic institutions and the corrosive effects of political polarization. Smith's critics argued that his prosecutions had been politically motivated and had only served to further divide the nation. His supporters, however, maintained that he had acted with integrity and had pursued justice without fear or favor. The investigations and their aftermath left an indelible mark on the American psyche. They raised profound questions about the balance of power, the role of the Justice Department, and the very nature of truth in the digital age. Smith's resignation did little to quell the controversy. Instead, it served as a stark reminder of the deep divisions that continued to plague American society.